Are you having a hard time getting your iMessages to synchronize properly between your iPhone and your computer? Or maybe you didn't know that you could do iMessages from your computer. Or maybe you don't even know why you would want to do an iMessage from your computer. Or maybe you don't even know what iMessage is. Regardless of which of those questions you want answered, I'm going to answer all of them today in this quick video. I'm Dylan Stewart. They call me the MacWhisperer, and for the last 20 years, I've been making people's lives easier, simpler, helping them with productivity by teaching them how to use the amazing tools that their Apple products provide. Whether it's an iPhone, an iPad, or anything in between, I can help. So if you've got Apple products and you've got questions, go ahead and subscribe to this video so that you can see all the amazing tips and shortcuts and tricks and tools that I release every week on this channel. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, what is iMessage? Back in the beginning of cell phones, we were introduced to this cool new form of communication called text messaging. Texting. All the kids are doing it. You should do it too. When you put a little couple of messages in, you send them off to somebody else's cell phone and they immediately see it and they immediately respond. No more waiting for them to check their email. No more asking them how to spell that AOL address. No more fighting through junk mail and junk messages to just get a quick message across. Just a couple of letters, hit send, and they receive it. Text messaging was all the rage, especially when cell phones really first came out. And when Apple came into the cell phone business in 2007 with the iPhone, they took what was a good thing, text messaging, and they built a great thing on top of it called iMessage. iMessage started off by running all of the messages through Apple's encryption software. So right off the bat, you were more protected, you were safer. On top of that, because it was running it through Apple's servers, it didn't need to use your cell phone carrier. So your cell phone carrier in those days would charge you for every text message you sent, and it could get really expensive. But if you had an Apple phone and you talked to Apple people, iMessage allowed you to not have to pay a per message charge, which was pretty amazing. Now, these days, text messages are generally unlimited and generally bundled with whatever plan you've got for your data, but in those days, it was a big deal. So text messages were great. iMessages were better because you could send photographs. You could have groups of more than 10 people. You could have all sorts of other tools that they gave you, things like the tap back, where you could simply tap on a message and say thumbs up or that you liked or loved something. You could send videos, which really weren't initially meant to be done on text messaging. And you could send videos in fairly high resolution and fairly good quality, which didn't happen with standard text messaging even when they did announce the ability to send multimedia text like photos and videos. Apple's been ahead of the messaging game almost from the beginning. And it's one of the parts of the Apple ecosystem that keeps us loyal Apple people tied in, because unlike on an Android phone, unlike on a Windows machine, I can send text messages from my computer, my iPad, and my phone, not just my phone. Why would you want to? Why would you want to send a text message from a computer instead of from a phone? Well, look at the screen size on this puppy versus the keyboard size on this bad boy. A full-size keyboard immediately makes it easier to type, no matter what anybody says. And so with the ability to send text messages from a full-size keyboard on a nice big screen, you take your text messages to the next level where it's closer and closer to like an email. I do most of my communication via text message these days because it's just too convoluted to go through email and to search through all of the junk and all of the messages and figure out what address somebody's got and whether it's going to show up in their inbox or whether they even know their password. So I always point towards text messaging. But if you don't have it set up right, it's not going to work the right way. So let's take a look in the phone first and take a look at some of the settings. Now, I've borrowed my son's phone specifically for this purpose. So we're going to go ahead and hop in here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look in the settings section. I'm going to go ahead and click on settings here. And we're going to scroll down into messages. Go ahead and click on it. First thing you want to know is iMessage turned on? As you can see here, it's actually turned off. So the very first thing you want to do is go ahead and click and turn iMessage on. When you get iMessage turned on, it should show at the bottom what your send and receive addresses are. It might say just your phone number like this one does, or it might say 2, 3, 4 addresses. It doesn't matter what it says. Go ahead and click on send and receive right there. Now, if at the top of this, like you see in this example, it says use your Apple ID for iMessage, you don't have it turned on right. And that's the first thing we're going to do. You know, you can tell when you're sending a message to an iMessage versus sending a text message very easily. When you send a text to a non-Apple user or someone who doesn't have their Apple ID set up right in iMessage, the text message shows up in green. Standard texts are green. You want it to show up in blue, which means that the person that you're communicating with and yourself are both set up on iMessage. So I'm going to go ahead and click use your Apple ID for iMessage here. Your Apple ID is that email address that you use with all of your Apple products. So you want to make sure you know what it is. The Apple ID consists of the email address and the password. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got the email address already in here. I'm going to go ahead and pop in the password. I'm going to click sign in. Now, when you get to this page, you can see that now the Apple ID shows up at the top. That means it's signed in properly. And then it'll show you can receive iMessages to and reply from at least 2 addresses, at least your phone number and your email address. You might have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or however many. Whatever addresses you see in this list, check them even if you don't use them. Sometimes people will get a bad email address and try to send you a text to it. This will make sure you receive those texts as well. Down at the bottom it says start new conversations from. In here, make sure it's checked on your phone number. Right there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click the back arrow back into the settings here. Down here there's this cool function that only exists for iMessage called share name and photo. This can make it easier for you to tell people you're talking with who you are. So I'm going to go ahead and click share name and photo. There's a photo for my son already selected. We've got his name in there, and I'm just going to turn name and photo sharing on. It gives you 2 options. Contacts only. That means you only share your name with people that are already in your address book, or always ask, meaning every conversation you have, you get an opportunity to share your name. For my son's case, I'm going to leave it on contacts only. In my case, I have it on always ask because I'm talking to people I don't know all the time, and I want to make it easy for them to add my information without asking me how to spell my name. I'm going to go click the back arrow here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. There's a setting right here that says send as SMS. Make sure you've got that turned on. This means that if you've got a bad cell phone signal, or if the person on the other end is not on an Apple product or doesn't have it set up right, after attempting to send as an iMessage, it will send a second time, if it fails, as an SMS that everybody can receive. So that's a good thing to get. Down under SMS/MMS, you want to make sure MMS messaging and group messaging are turned on. MMS messaging allows you to send photos and videos to non-Apple users. Group messaging allows you to have text messaging groups with non-Apple users and Apple users alike. Everything else down there I pretty much leave as it is, so don't worry about that stuff. But you see this section here that says text message forwarding? We're coming back to that. So these are the first settings you want to go ahead and do on your phone. There's one more that I'd like you to do. Not a necessity, but it helps. You're going to go up to the top to where you see your name. You're going to click on that, and you're going to click on iCloud. And in iCloud, you're going to see all these things checked. You want to make sure to turn on iMessage in iCloud. This means that all of your text messages are stored in the cloud and synchronized with all your devices. This is one of the things people leave out that helps make sure that things stay synced up. Now, I will say this, it does take additional iCloud storage to turn on messages, especially if you've got a lot of photos or videos or other things in text message conversations. But on the plus side, it takes those photos off your phone so your phone isn't quite so full, and it's easy to add more iCloud storage space. Just know that that does take up more room. And if you're concerned about it, you do not have to turn this on, but I really like this because it means my phone, my computer, and my iPad have all the same messages. So I'm going to turn it on here. All right, now with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the computer. So with the computer, I want to make sure that I'm tied into the same Apple ID that I'm using on my phone. So my first stop, I'm going to go to Apple menu, and I'm going to go to System Preferences. Here's System Preferences. This is where all your tools are for your Apple products. We're going to go to the top right here. It says sign into your Apple ID. I'm going to click sign in, and it's going to ask for that Apple ID. Remember, the Apple ID is the email address. So I'm going to go ahead and type it in, and I'm going to click next. Now it's going to ask for that password. Hopefully you know what your password is. I do. And I'm going to sign in. Now, because I have what's called two-factor authentication turned on, it's going to send a message to my phone letting me know that someone is trying to sign in. In this case, that someone is me. So I'm going to click allow on the phone. It gives me a number. I'm going to pop that in. And what we're doing here is we're signing the computer in to iCloud. In many cases, this will automatically turn it on for iMessage, but we're going to just double check that iMessage is turned on anyways. You might have already set up Apple ID on your computer, in which case you can go ahead and skip this step. And also, it's possible to have your iMessage be a different Apple ID than your iCloud. I don't generally recommend it, but it is possible. So it takes a couple of moments while it signs itself in, asks you a couple of questions along the way. Now that it's all signed in, we're going to get out of System Preferences and we're going to go into iMessage. iMessage is that cartoony bubble, it's blue bubble that you should see down on your dock. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And right off the bat, it's asking me to sign in. So let's go ahead and use that Apple ID again. Click Next. Password. Click Next. So it signs me right in, and now it's ready for me to go ahead and start sending and receiving text messages. Let's test it first by putting in a phone number and sending a text. I'm going to just text myself right now. Knows that it's Dad. That's good. Okay, that went through perfectly. Now, in the next few minutes, we should see other text messages start to come through and start to synchronize. So before we're done, we're going to go into the Messages Preferences right here. And under iMessage, I'm going to make sure I turn on Enable Messages in iCloud. That's that synchronization that we did from the phone that's going to allow all of our messages to sync up. With that being done, at the bottom we can see downloading messages from iCloud and everything's going to start coming in. There's one last step. There's one last step to make sure this is 100% done, and this has to do with Android users. So we're going to go back to the phone now. You're going to go back into Settings. You're going to go into Messages right here, and where it says Text Message Forwarding, you're going to make sure that the computer that you just turned on is turned green here. You can also turn anything else that shows up there on. These are devices that are tied in with your Apple ID. Your iPad might show up on there. Other things might show up on there. So this is a great way to make sure that all your other devices are synchronized as well. Once you've got that text message setting, once you've got that text message forwarding setting turned on, you should be good to go. And from now on, you'll be able to send and receive text messages from your computer, from your phone, from your iPad, from any of your Apple products, no matter what. And that's what you need to do to make sure that all your devices are properly synchronizing and you can text from any of your Apple products. It's a great thing to be able to do and get set up, so go ahead and take care of it on your devices now. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments section below. I'm Dylan Stewart. I'm the Mac Whisperer. I'll be back soon with more tips and tricks, so make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.